Okay. Finally, we start to teach you how to something about CSS is formally entered into today's lecture. Okay, this is a CSS Basic, and actually in today, maybe I try to teach you something about CSS Basic, and the other thing is CSS layout design. Okay, I will divide into these two parts in today's course. And actually, the first one is CSS Basic, and CSS stands for the cascading style sheet. It is a simple design language to help us to describing the presentation of the web page. And actually, today we already have so many packages to help us to create CSS smoothly or more quickly. But actually, I think the basic of CSS is the most important one thing, because you need to learn this before you learn something about all the other package. Okay, and actually there are three things to add in CSS in your website. Okay, because now you already know what is HTML and something about our HTML text. But actually, maybe today we want to make up some things for our HTML text. So you needed to, through these three approaches, to add in CSS, to add something CSS. Okay, the first one is inline CSS. I have told you, maybe we just embed our CSS in our HTML tag. Like today we just use a style equal to something, and we will know in there that is about CSS. And the other thing is internal CSS. What is internal CSS? Maybe today we just put some our CSS in our HTML file. In HTML file, we will know there has HTML tag and our head and our body. And in head tag, we will put all our CSS in the head tag. Okay, in the head section. So that is internal CSS. That is because maybe today we just want to conduct a small project, and we just use maybe a little CSS language, so we just use internal CSS, that is enough. But if today you want to conduct a huge project, and this project has so many people in this project, and we needed to use something about external CSS. Actually, maybe you will not only have one CSS file. You will have so many CSS files. For example, I have a CSS is to control my font size, my font color, or the layout something. Okay, this is one thing. Maybe font color is one thing. And the other thing is maybe I want to control the main style of this website. Maybe I will control the layout. Maybe I will control the layout color or the layout background or the other things. And that will separate CSS. So I will create many CSS files. And this CSS file needed to embed in our HTML. Okay, that is not all the code in the HTML. We just has a link to link with our CSS file. So that is external CSS. Okay, but if today you just finish your project in this classroom, I think internal CSS is enough. Okay, so that is the three methods for adding CSS. Okay, and here is the CSS Selector, and actually we can add something in our HTML. Okay, but we needed to have a selector. Selector is just the name of your tag. Like today I use A is for our hyperlink. Maybe today I can use body to control our body. I can use div to control all the division, and I can use maybe P to control my paragraph. Okay, and the property is that we can control the background, we can control the font size, and we can control a lot of things. That is property. And we needed to set up the value. We needed to set up some value for our property. Okay, so now we know we needed to have a selector with our curly bracket, with our property, okay, and the column, and the value, and our semicolon, okay, and our curly bracket. So you needed to know when we needed to use round bracket, when we needed to use square bracket, when we needed to use curly bracket. I think that is totally different, okay. But normally we will use curly bracket in our CSS file, okay, curly bracket here, okay. And now there has so many things to help us to select the specific tag, because today we want to make up our website, but we needed to tell the browser which tag or which element I call for, okay. There has one thing is universal selector. Its syntax is just a star. If today I use a star, my mean is I call all the elements needed to follow this way, okay. So I will use this star, okay. And the other thing is type selector. Maybe I just use element name. What is element name? It's just like your body and the P or B or span or div, like this thing. That is element name, okay. And if today you want to call a class, we just put a dot with your class name, a dot with your class name. And if you use ID selector, how to pronounce this? 井字号怎么念 ？Hashtag? Hashtag? Okay. Hashtag ID name. Okay. So you can use dot with your class name, and you can use hashtag with your ID name. But today I want to show you what's the difference between ID and the class. Now this is really important, so please watch out. Okay, please everyone just look at me. What is ID and what is class? That is really critical, because we needed to know which element needed to use ID or need to use class. That is a thing is just like, today we are maybe we are classmates, because both of us are sit down in the same classroom. So actually, the student choose this course will have the same character. Do you agree with this point? You have the same character. Maybe today you want to learn something for coding. Okay, so that is your character. So how many people want to learn how to coding? Just the people in this classroom, right? So I don't need to say, oh, classmate 1, she wants to study something about coding. Classmate 2, she wants to study something about coding. Student 3, she wants to study about coding. I don't need to set up this. I just say, set up the class or class website. If today I give you a class, it's website, I will know that, oh, today you want to learn something for website. So if today you set up a class name, it represents that there has so many people have the same character. Okay, so that is class. And sometimes we needed to set up for ID. What is ID? It's your specific character. Okay, what is a specific character? Maybe just your ID number, and maybe just I am the teacher of web design, so I will have a specific character. Okay, maybe I just use ID name is hashtag teacher. Maybe it's blue coated and with his microphone or something. So I will set up a series of things to describe this ID. Okay, so that is specific one. And in this time I will use ID selector. And what is type selector? I just said human being. We have 2 legs and we have mouth, and that is type selector. It represents all the human being. Okay, what's universal universal selector. It's all the things. It's not focused on a human or an animal or anything, and we can point out all the things. Okay, that is universal selector. So now you will know. Sometimes we need to use universal. I think that is just unusual. And sometimes we will use type selectors, and sometimes we will use class, and sometimes we will use ID selector. So that is totally different. Okay. And now I just want to show you a thing. Is that please see your screen. And now I want to create maybe 3 division. Okay. Multiply 3. Okay. Now I have these 3 division. Okay. And I create a internal CSS in here. I needed to use style to create some CSS language in here. Okay. So now I can use a type selector, div. Okay. So all the div will follow this rule. Okay. So I just say, oh, background is red. Okay. Let's to see our website. We see nothing. Why is that? It's because we didn't give them the width and their height. Okay. So we needed to set up the width, maybe 500 pixel, and the height is 500 pixel. Not use cm. If today you are a designer, just use pixel. Okay. Okay. So there is 3 boxes in here, but this is connected. Okay. And we can set up the bold, maybe margin. Margin just set some space between us. Okay. That is 5 pixel. Okay. So we can see there has a three box. Okay. But we just set up for the division. Okay. And if today I set up, create the other 3 division, but I only give the top 3 division for their class name. Okay. I assign a class name for the top 3 division, like box 1. Okay. Because I think the top 3 is the most special one. It's special. Okay. I can use point with their class name like this, box 1. I can set up the background with blue. Okay. So you will see this. Here is blue, and here is red. Okay. Actually, there has a priority. Okay. We will follow ID, then our class, and the last one is our type. Okay. So if I think the top one is the most critical one, and I will set up the box 1. Okay. So I will use hashtag box 1 with background and green. Okay, I will see this green, blue, and red. And why today I set the class name and the ID name in the same times? Why they follow the ID? It's because the priority. Because I say the ID is the first, and the second is class, and the last one is the type. Okay. Okay. So do you see here has some space with our HTML? Okay. This is so annoying, right? Maybe today you are a designer, you already has this space. Okay. How to clear this space? You just use this. Okay, a star, and we will set up the margin 0. Okay, we clear the space. Okay, and here we needed to set up the space. Okay, maybe we just set up the margin button just set up some space for our button. Okay, so here is no space. Okay, this is what we want. So we can use the star to control all the thing. We just say, oh, all the elements on our website, we needed to clear their margin. So we will use margin 0. Okay, and we can use the other thing is padding. Okay. Okay, just don't care about margin and padding. I will describe all these things later. Okay, so now please just use your type selector and your class selector and your ID selector to practice your CSS first. Okay, and now I will switch the monitor to you. Okay, go ahead. Now you already know what's the difference of these basic selectors, and actually that's just 4 types of selectors. And the first one is universal, which we will use a star to control all the elements. And the other one is type selectors. We just use the element name. Okay, and there has the other critical thing is we needed to understand what's the difference between CSS selector and the ID selector. And one we just use the dot, and the other use hashtag. Okay. And now if today we needed to control the color in CSS, and there has 4 types and 4 things we can use. The first one we just use the color name. Okay, like navy. And the other thing is HTML5 color name. What's their difference? And actually, I think HTML5 color has a good quality for the color. Yes, maybe I just show you. And we go to here to search for the HTML5 color. Okay, because traditional color there is just specific colors. Okay. And if today we use color name in HTML5, they have so some special color, okay, like this color, okay, and you just search for this, and you can use this to their color name to represent the color you want to use, okay. And the other one is hexadecimal. Hexadecimal, and what's your introduction to computer science teacher? Because that is 6 numbers in here. Okay, we just use a hexadecimal approach to represent your color. Okay, so you can see there is also the hexadecimal color. Okay, it's from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, A, B, C, D, E, F. Okay, to represent our color. Okay, and the other is RGB. RGB we have 3 numbers, and the maximum is 255. Okay, 0 to 255, and the R is red, G is for green, and B for blue. So if today I set up a 0, 0, 255, so that is a blue color. Okay, so maybe you can use this 4 way to control your color. Okay. So now maybe you can try to control your color. Okay, oh, by the way, maybe today I just set up like this. I set up the H1. Okay, is our course is website. And I also set up a paragraph is this course aims to help you understand the process, the web development process. Okay, so this is H1 and P. And please try to use this approach to represent the different color. Okay, so now you needed to search. Today you needed to use color name or HTML5 color or hexadecimal. Okay, maybe you will find the best color code for you, because I think everyone you have your own personality. So maybe you just choose colors is your favorite one. Okay, so now it's switch to your monitor. Okay. Now we just move on CSS Forms. And actually, I think the fonts family is a really critical issue in our website. So we needed to set up a series of font family. Okay, like I really like a font family is Helvetica. Okay, and then that is belong to sans serif. What is sans serif? I will introduce. Can you see what's the difference between these two types? The left hand side is our sans serif, right hand side is serif. What's their difference? Is there anybody know this? Okay, maybe we can see here has a triangle. Okay, and here has the other triangle, and here is the triangle. Okay, if a font with triangle, I will say this is serif. This font family is belong to serif. Okay, if that is all the thing is right, okay, and I will say that is sans serif. Okay, maybe today you want to talk a thing is serious, and I will suggest you to use serif. And today, if this thing is easy, and you want to present a happy mood, maybe you can just use sans serif. Okay, but actually that is not a font family. Okay, there has so many font family about sans serif, and also have so many font family in our serif. So you needed to look up some font family. Okay, so you can see the red serif. Okay, so that is represent the serif. Okay, maybe we can just use the video to understand.
Let's
something.
learn about serif and sans serif fonts right here on Envato Tuts Plus. The right font can make or break a design, so knowing different font styles comes in pretty handy when you're a graphic designer. A serif font, for instance, has small decorative strokes adding to the structure of the font, like these tiny details found on the Times New Roman type. While on the opposite side of the spectrum, sans, which stands for without, means that a sans serif font doesn't have any special decorations, like the Arial font. Here are some more well-known serif and sans serif fonts.
Okay, now you can see the left hand side. That's Times New Roman, Georgia. That is serif. Okay, and the right hand side, the Arial, Helvetica. That is sans serif. Okay.
You might already be familiar with. Browse the incredible selection of fonts on Graphic River and Envato Elements to find one that fits your style. Use a serif font for elegant vintage-inspired designs like historical books, newspapers, and more. Or show off your love of modern design with a sleek and sophisticated sans serif typeface that is super easy to read. No matter your personal preferences, make sure to download both types for a well-balanced font collection.
Okay, so that is their difference. So I will suggest use maybe in a website, and we will have the Chinese and English in the same times. Okay, and if today your Chinese use sans serif font family, and please your English and with the same one, just a sans serif. Maybe they are the different font family, but I think these two font family needed to be sans serif. Okay, and if today you use serif, and you needed to make sure your English and Chinese is serif. Okay, I think that is a really important thing. Okay, maybe in Chinese you use 微软明朝体, and in English you use Times New Roman. Okay, because that is the same. We can see the triangle in these two family, and all these two font family is striped. Okay. Really happy to see this. Your assignment. So doing Chinese and English mixed text composition designs for an article. Maybe you just copy an article paragraph, and this paragraph has Chinese and English in the same times, okay? And we needed to make sure that has at least two paragraph, okay? And each two language must use a consistent generic font family. Yes, maybe you just follow all the font family is belong to serif, or all the two languages belong to the sans serif font. Okay? So what's my meaning? Maybe just like this. I just go to Taiwan Tech. Oh, this. Maybe I just go to the Wikipedia. Okay. I just copy this to my Word. Oh, you don't need to use Word. You just need to use sublime text. It's okay. Word, okay. And I can say this Taiwan Tech. Okay. So please make sure this English and all this Chinese is sans serif. Okay? Or all these two language is serif. Okay, you just choose one of them, is okay. I just want to see these two paragraphs. Okay, so now please try to look up some sans serif or serif font family. Okay, this is our last assignment in today's. Okay, and you also needed to submit your assignment to here. Okay. And I will end up the answer time, okay, in 12 o'clock, these two questions. But these new ones, I will not end up in 12 o'clock, okay. So now please just practice that. Okay, and by the way, I have already uploaded the materials on our Moodle. So if you need, then you can go to the Moodle to download it.